This Ford Expedition has a leaking rear pinion sill, so it's going to get replaced. I'm going to start by putting the vehicle in neutral, start it up, shift to neutral, hit the M button in the middle of the selector, and then turn the vehicle off. That'll keep it in neutral for us for being able to rotate the drive shaft and whatnot later. Taking off the rear wheels, and as well as the brake pads. So calipers are coming off, and then the brake pads will come off on both sides, and that's so we can get an accurate rotational torque, so that we know what the drive pinion preload currently is at before replacing this sill. So that'll be important. We'll get to that here in a second. I'm going to index the rear drive shaft to the rear flange for accurate installation later. When you are cranking on these, you can stick a punch through these holes in the rear flange, and that'll kind of lock the punch against the housing so that you can crank on these bolts with a breaker bar if you need to, like I did. And then once I had those all broke free, I was able to zing them out with an impact gun. And then with the pry bar, I was able to pop the flange off the rear and slide it out of the transmission. And here I'm measuring rotational torque. So just want to see what the constant inch-pound torque requirement is on that that pinion, and then write it down. So my reference torque on this one is 23 inch-pounds, and on reassembly we want to be right at that 23 inch-pounds. We don't want to exceed it. We want to be within plus or minus 3 inch-pounds of that. If we exceed it, then the pinion crush sleeve is damaged, and you would have to replace it and get an education on rear differentials. Index that flange to the rear pinion stem for reassembly later is what you saw there, and then I'm using a punch to kind of distort the sill, and then I have a sill puller to pop it out. This is the new seal and the new flange nut, and I'm using a little bit of trans gel, but you can just use rear diff fluid to lubricate the sill up a little bit. And then I found a piece of pipe that's the right diameter. I can't remember what it was. It was some black pipe. I think it was like 2 or 2.5 inch black pipe. And then I'm just kind of tapping on that to get it started. And the pipe helps kind of distribute the pressure so it seats a little more equally. And then I used a 2x4 to punch on it, and that worked well to drive it in the rest of the way, so it was nice and flush all the way around and fully seated. A little more rear diff fluid or trans gel on the back there, and then putting on that flange as it was indexed before, 32 millimeter, and we're just going to tighten it up, but not crazy tight. We don't want to over tighten this because we'll exceed that rotational force. So this is an incremental tightening process called torque to a rotational torque rating. And so I have this punch in here, and I got a big breaker bar, and it takes quite a bit of torque, but I'm just doing 16th, 18th turns at a time, relieving the tension on it, smacking the face with a hammer. And if you have any play in there, you're probably not tight enough yet. You need to kind of get rid of that play and then set your torque to that. And repeat that process multiple times until you finally get to the right rotational torque that matches your reference torque. And again, don't exceed that by 3 inch-pounds. Otherwise, you get to replace the pinion crush sleeve as well. And that's a more involved process. So this one's right at around 23. There is some indexing splines on the drive shaft, so find which ones those are so you can line it up and slip it into the transmission. And then line up your index marks on the rear flange to the drive shaft. And you're supposed to put in new bolts. I didn't do that. Didn't have them, didn't think about it. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'll try to include the part number if I can in the video description below. And then tighten these up each to 76 foot-pounds. Clean everything up. I'm going to service the rear differential right now. You at least want to check the level, but I decided I would service it. Take out the fill plug first so that you'll be able to refill it when you're done. and then it'll come out easy enough. A little bit of normal fuzz on there from use, and then drain the rear diff fluid. Calls for 75-85 both synthetic. So clean up these plugs here, magnets on them, put a bottle pump on the fluid here, and then I'm going to flush a little bit of clean fluid through just to clean out any grime that might be in there, and then putting in the drain plug. That calls for 38 foot-pounds, again just snug, not crazy tight. Most of these Fords all have the 9.75 inch rear differential, but in any case, whatever differential you have calls for the same fluid. Unless you have limited slip, you need to put a little bit of that in there at the end. But your final fill needs to be just about an inch or so, 3/4 inch to an inch below the fill hole. That's a good rule of thumb on any gear box like this, rear differential, front differential, so that you have room for fluid expansion later. I wouldn't stress too much about the fluid amount to the milliliter. I just make sure you have a little bit of room for expansion below the fill hole there. Back on with the pads, the calipers, snug everything tight, and before you go driving away on this, you want to remember to pump the brake, since we used a C-clamp there to compress the piston to get the caliper easily back on over the pads there. 26 foot-pounds is what those caliper bolts call for. You just want snug, not crazy tight. I probably want a little bit tight if anything, but it calls for 26 foot-pounds. Then it will be back on with the wheels and tires, but first I'm going to clean off the discs and pads there a little bit. If I had any grime or fingerprints on the rear rotors, zing those on, and then 150 foot-pounds. Pump the brake, and this is done. Hope you found this useful and that you like and subscribe.